Hello to my veteran subscribers. You know who I am. Salute. And to my newer subscribers, allow me to introduce myself. I am BC Amplified. And you have stumbled upon the Amplified channel. And you are about to witness the harshest review of WWE Hell in a Cell 2021 that you are going to find in this community on this platform. Because what this review will stand for and stand up for are those like BC that are displeased by this product. The fan that knows that this company, this product can be and should be better and is resting on sheer laziness, no care, no effort being put into their weekly shows and especially not their pay-per-view events. For the fan that watches an entire pay-per-view and when it is over they say, there's nothing memorable here. Nothing exciting happened, nothing fun, nothing worth paying extra money for. For those fans, BC speaks out for you. BC is done with the mulligans. BC he's done letting this company off the hook. I will speak up for those individuals that know that this company is in the shitter and we love it. And we need it to change for the better. For the superstars, for the fans, for the company, for the business. It needs to get better. That's what this review will do. Somebody has to start stepping up and telling the truth. We can't just live in the cookie cutter world that Vince McMahon would like us to live in. No. And this is not your normal review show. You can count on BC to at least entertain you because you know damn well the shows are not. We don't just review these shows, these pay-per-views. No, we flip the review game upside down. We do what is known as the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it entails 3 simple rules. Allow BC to go over them. Number 1, every single match on the main show, on the main card, will get at least 1 tally in one of 3 columns. The good column, the bad column, or the ugly column. Rule number 2, stay away from the ugly column. Because at the end of this sumbitch, when we do final tallies and we decide if this was a good or a bad pay-per-view, those uglies will rear their ugly head. They will be crossed off a piece into 2 bads. So every single ugly will get crossed out and it will turn into 2 bads. That'll drastically change the outcome in deciding if this was a good or bad pay-per-view as a whole. Stay away from the uglies. Those bitches are nothing to fuck with. Rule number 3, only in the event of a tiebreaker will we go to the pre-show match to decide this pay-per-view. In this case, it was Natalya versus Mandy Rose. I'm going to give you guys a spoiler right now. We will not even have to go over that. Thankfully! Because this event was nowhere close to a tie. You see, we filmed this, we recorded this in audio format only immediately after the show went off the air last night. BC went to his mega podcasting mic. He turned that son of a bitch on record, and for over a half an hour, BC spewed his 100% truthful insight, dissection, and facts. He ripped this company apart but for justified reasons. For over a half an hour, we get amplified. And we delivered the harshest review of this event in the entire community. Again, it was filmed immediately after the show went off the air. But after you hear over half an hour of amplification, after you hear this review, we're going to come right back to future BC, where here we sit the next morning with a nice fresh coffee. We're going to come back to future BC. We're going to decipher what past BC put last night in that review. We're going to tally up all the columns, and we're going to decide together if this was a good or a bad pay-per-view. Buckle up! Brace yourself! This review is about to get amplified! And it begins right now. Match 1 inside Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. 20 minutes. This match went in length. A women's title match that went 20 minutes. Throw out the streamers, set off the balloons, blast that pyro. The party is in full swing. Was it that hard, Vince, to give these ladies 20 minutes for a title match? We finally got it, man. These two absolutely did not need this gimmick. They're both so good, and a regular wrestling match is more of a benefit to them. The bells and whistles, not needed. That being said, Bayley's character development was phenomenal here. She tied Belair's hair to the bottom rope. She bit Belair's arm. She told Michael Cole to shut up while she was setting up a kendo stick spot. Bayley was top notch, man. No matter how low Bayley stooped or how much trash she talked, Bianca kept rising to the occasion, never caving in to the pressure that Bayley was applying. To sum it up, characters and chemistry was spot on in this opening contest. The story was also pretty spot on and rather simplistic. Bayley will stop at nothing to win that title, and Bianca will stop at nothing to keep it. The finish was pretty cool as Belair hits Bayley with that KOD onto an open ladder. Even cooler, again, was the fact that the finish came at the 20-minute mark. Hell officially froze over. 2 women, 20 minutes in a title match. Was that so damn hard? VKM. Awesome job by Bayley. This version of her has great things in the future. And for Bianca Belair, this was a great way to cement her title reign. Bianca beating Sasha at Mania was just the start. This win solidifies an actual title reign. Could you imagine if she lost that strap to Bayley last night? Did she really have a title reign? 2 months? No real big defenses? This match solidified her reign. And now she can get catapulted straight into SummerSlam as an official title holder. This match made both ladies look good, and that's important. Remember I said those words, because going forward on this event, on this supposed pay-per-view, you're not going to hear those same words. You're not going to hear BC express those same sentiments. So take it while you can get it right now. In this opening match, no matter who won or lost, both ladies came out looking damn good here. This obviously. No need to even second guess this sumbitch. This is going straight into the good column. Right out of the gates, you're thinking, hey, maybe this trash pay-per-view on paper, maybe it has some steam. Match number 1 gave it some momentum. maybe Hell in a Cell 2021 has a chance. Oh, if we only had a clue. Hey guys, Future BC coming at you here. Again, we did film all of the audio recording last night immediately after the event. But every match or so, I kind of want to pop back to It Is I, Future BC, just to give some insight the next morning, right? Those were my raw emotions after the event, how I was feeling. How is BC feeling after we get a few hours of sleep with his morning coffee? And I gotta be honest, I feel the same way about Bayley and Bianca. Here we are the next morning, and I thought they delivered the one match in the entire night where everything felt right. The match was not only good, which is what we expect on a wrestling show, especially a pay-per-view, but good wrestling alone is not going to cut it. Their finish made sense and made both look good. It was just done correctly from top to bottom, and they got creative. Was it cell-worthy? Did it need to be in a cell on paper? And when it was all said and done, do we look back at this match and say, well, it only worked because it was in a cell? Absolutely not. In fact, if BC was in creative and could do it over, I would not have had that match in the cell. Personally, I would have had Rollins and Cesaro. That's another story. We're about to get to that. But they still pulled it off, man. And out of those 6 matches, that's the one match that from top to bottom I was actually pleased with. You'll know what I'm talking about going forward. But that's Future BC's thoughts on it. Let's move on. Match number 2. In fact, that actually was, I believe, Rollins and Cesaro. So in that match number 2 spot was Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. I talked about Bayley and Bianca not needing the Hell in a Cell gimmick. Well, neither did Seth and Cesaro. However, I firmly believe these two, with their volatile feud, would have been perfect in that structure. I digress. BC's not here to review what should have been. I'm here to dissect what was. Match time clocked in at 16 minutes. The believability of this feud was felt immediately when Seth tried a sneak attack during Cesaro's entrance. Cesaro turns the tide, gains the upper hand, and proceeds to whoop Rollins' ass. Rollins would overcome the onslaught, and eventually the match evened out to a back-and-forth contest. At times it was a wrestling match, at times it was a fight. But the entire time, I had that feeling that both dudes really wanted to beat the other. Everything was going really good, until it went really bad. The finish after 16 minutes of these two kicking one another's ass was an awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating, fruit roll-up. Rollins' character development with this new version of Seth as of late has been great. Him defeating Cesaro alone isn't a dagger, not by a long shot. The dagger comes from Cesaro looking like a complete idiot. He had all the momentum in the world coming off of that Roman Reigns feud. Even in defeat, Cesaro found a sense of victory. And how do we follow that momentum up? A second big loss to Rollins 1 month later. 50-50 booking at its finest, folks, because if you really want to think about it, sorry to bring up the past because McMahon doesn't want us to remember this, but every once in a while you get a wrestling fan with some common sense and logic like BC, and I have to bring this up because I have a realistic, truthful, amplified review show. That's why thousands of people listen to BC. 'Cause they know I'm top of the line. Best in the community. Second to none. It's because I do remember and I do my research. I jump into the history books. Just a few months ago, WrestleMania. Shit, just a couple months ago, WrestleMania. Cesaro was defeating Rollins. Here we are months later, and this is how far we have come? 50-50 booking still, and this wasn't just a loss. Cesaro got rolled up, bro. One of the strongest guys in all of professional wrestling could not kick out of a roll-up. It's unacceptable. How can anybody be okay with this? You watch a fruit roll-up, and it is sad. It is embarrassing. How the guy, or gal, in this situation, Cesaro, how it looks like they're not even trying to kick out, because if they try, then they could easily get their shoulder 1 centimeter off the mat and kick out. The roll-up was used to be anyway, not today, but it used to be used once in a blue moon. It was the shock factor. You did not expect it coming. So when somebody hit you with it, you were caught off guard, caught by surprise. After all we've been through, damn, you hit the roll-up on me, man. I didn't see it coming. But you can't say that anymore today, because everybody does it. The roll-up finish is used multiple times per show. That son of a bitch we should see once per month in the company, and that's being generous. Now we're seeing it multiple times a show. And it's not just with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. This is with Cesaro, bro. One of the strongest dudes in all of pro wrestling loses with a roll-up. And we're still playing the game of 50-50 booking. Months after Mania. And there's people okay with it. You know why? They're saying, but it was a good match, Bayley. I can see great matches at the local bingo hall every weekend. And you don't have to pay extra because it's a pay-per-view or a special event. No, it's just wrestling, so I'm getting good wrestling matches. There's a crazy concept. If you think I'm putting this into the good column because it was a good match, no. Oh, no. It's a match I've already seen plentiful times in the past. It's a match with a finish that gave us no answers or no thought-provoking concepts to think about going forward. It's 50-50 booking, and I saw one of the strongest dudes in pro wrestling get rolled up like a toddler. If I was just to put this into the bad column, then I shouldn't have a channel. 'Cause that's just not truthful. Yes, this is going to seem extremely harsh. That's why I am here. That's why the channel exists. And that's why BC is claiming that #1 spot on this fucking platform. Because I'm done with the mulligans. I'm done with sugarcoating shit. I'm done with the cookie cutter responses. What a great match! What a really good match! What an amazing match! No, that's not how we dissect shit on this channel. We dissect the booking. We dissect what the finish and the outcome does for the wrestlers in the feud going forward. The trajectory of their careers. On the pay-per-view, what happened that was memorable, right? It's a pay-per-view. We need epic moments and memorable moments that are going to last for years and years to come. This match gave us nothing but some good wrestling. The finish was tragic. The outcome and what it leads to, it's irrelevant and pathetic. This goes in to the ugly column. Unapologetically. They had a good match going. BC fully admits that. That's not how tallies are done on this review. That is not how tallies get put into columns. Just by having the good match. The finish is just as damn important. The booking is just as important. What it all leads to. We review all of it. We started off good with match 1. Match 2. In this company thinking that Cesaro getting rolled up in 50-50 booking is a good idea on a pay-per-view. No. That went right into the ugly. And now we have a little bit of a hole to dig ourselves out of for match number 3. Can we do it? Buckle up and brace yourself. My friends, it only gets worse from here with this damn show. Again, here we are the next morning with future BC. Does future BC feel the same way as past BC? 1,000,000%. Nothing's changed just with a few hours of sleep and a fresh coffee. Nothing. You had Cesaro. In fact, I'm even more furious about it right now, to be honest, thinking about it. Now that I had time to think about it, I don't know how that didn't get 2 uglies. Multi-billion-dollar conglomerate company. And the best they had for Cesaro, after just losing a big feud to Roman Reigns, the best thing they had was losing to Rollins. Not just losing, but a fruit roll-up. When he just beat the same dude a few months ago at WrestleMania, the fact that this was a rematch alone is bad on paper. So you better do something extraordinary at the pay-per-view. Yeah, they had something special in mind. We're going to have Cesaro lose, 50-50 book him, and make him look like a chump. Yeah, and I'm supposed to put this anywhere but the ugly? I said this was the harshest review you're going to find in the community. That shouldn't be one of it. That should be common sense where that was going. Let's move on to match number 3. Shayna Baszler versus Alexa Bliss in that match number 3 spot. This was a 7-minute match, barely, ending with nothing special or of interest for the future. That's just the truth. Look, Alexa Bliss, character-wise, was phenomenal. She tapped into every emotion imaginable within a 7-minute time frame. Damn right I'm giving props, cause that ain't easy. Everything she was asked to do, Alexa Bliss did it the best way it could have possibly been done. McMahon's decision-making throughout this entire match is what was nauseating bullshit. You have Baszler drop this match in 7 minutes with literally nothing that allowed her to save face. When this match was over, we were not saying, "Oh, that was close. Baszler's coming back better than ever now." Or, "Damn, can't believe she beat Baszler like that. Shayna's gonna be pissed." Or, "Whoa, did you see what happened to Baszler? I wonder what Shayna's gonna do next." None of that. Nothing garnered intrigue for Baszler in this loss. She was irrelevant before this match, and even more irrelevant after. Sadly, Baszler is officially done in WWE. I just don't see how she can dig herself out of the fucking hole that McMahon has dug for her. Furthermore, Alexa winning with Twisted Bliss is just stupid. That's the original Bliss's move, not Dark Side Bliss. There needs to be a separation of the two. Your finisher is a major detail in overall presentation. I'm not even done. Alexa hypnotizing Nia Jax to slap Reginald is worse than Lily the doll. And you guys know I'm being 100% truthful with you. The hypnotism is way worse than Lily the doll. I like Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler a lot. But this is a pay-per-view. And there was nothing pay-per-view worthy in this match. And in just under 7 minutes, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. This company needs to get the message that they have to step up their game tenfold. That only happens if we are being honest. This was ugly. It wasn't just bad. It was ugly. And unless we're truthful, unless we put these matches exactly where they belong, this company is just going to keep giving out the same regurgitated bullshit and thinking it's okay. This goes into the ugly column, unapologetically, and I couldn't put it in there fast enough. And you guys know that actually pains me to do that because I really like Alexa Bliss's work. Without Bray Wyatt, it does not feel the same. So I don't know where they go with Alexa following Hell in a Cell. I know that Shayna Baszler is royally fucked. Alexa can at least be saved. Shayna Baszler, I don't know if she can. And that's just one of the many reasons this is not just bad. It remains in the ugly, and that's where... So here we are, more future BC commentary. And how does BC feel the next morning, as opposed to his feelings last night when we cut that review? 1,000,000+% the same exact way. You cannot book Shayna Baszler to look like that in less than 7 minutes. You're trying to build on Alexa Bliss. That's great, but you're going to have to work double time to make Alexa Bliss and that character work, because without Bray Wyatt, it's damaged. And I love Alexa Bliss in this new character. I think she's phenomenal with it, but it's just going to be hard to pull it off, not attached to Bray, because let's be honest, she totally jacked the character from Bray. Attaching her to a doll and have her doing some hypnotizing voodoo is not going to cut it. You have to work double time. You can't just rest on what worked in the past. Mostly with Bray. But you can't just pump Alexa up anyway and make Shayna look like a chump. You can't raise somebody up while tearing somebody else down. That never works. You have to find a way to make both look strong. Even in defeat, you should be able to have a sense of victory. In pro wrestling, you should be able to make somebody look good in defeat. In certain situations, this was a dire situation for Baszler, who is all but buried at this point. Let's be honest, I don't know if she can dig out of the hole that McMahon has dug for her. That's just the truth. This was absolutely ugly, tenfold. Generously, I gave it 1 ugly. And that tells you how truthful I am, because I love both these gals, man. But just liking something doesn't mean that that's going to skew the review. I call myself the most honest and truthful and impactful amplified reviewer in the community for a reason, because I truly believe those words. I truly believe that when you tune into a BC Amplified review or video, that you're getting the very best in the community, or else this channel, not going to have it. So that's what I have to do. Even if I like something personally for certain reasons, that doesn't mean it's going to skew the actual review of the match. It was less than 7 minutes. Alexa Bliss gains nothing from this, and Shayna Baszler looks even worse than before from this. Literally no good came out of it. Nothing was fun. Nothing was memorable. I'll stop it there. Clearly, future BC feels the same way as past BC on this match. Let's go back to past BC from last night and go over that match number 4 spot. I believe Owens and Zayn. That match 4 spot did indeed have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This is the 749th time that I have seen these two wrestle. I'm done. You guys know how I feel about these two together. We used to love it, right? BC, like all of you during their NXT days, screaming, "Fight forever!" And nowadays, BC screaming to an audience of 1, "Please stop this bullshit!" 749 times, there's nothing more we can see with these two. Their best is in the past. I've been saying it their last 3 times that they faced. But you guys keep wanting to see it again and again, thinking they're gonna be able to tap into what they used to do. It's not gonna happen. It's 2021. It's the 749th meeting. It's time to move on. But this company is so deprived creatively, and even if they had some, McMahon wouldn't allow it to be utilized. Unless I saw something I've never seen before in pro wrestling last night between these two, or we got some 25-minute plus classic, or just an amazing finish that captures our attention and catapults our intrigue for both dudes going forward. Unless I get some of that, I'm not giving this a mulligan. If you think BC's just putting this into the good column because it was a good wrestling match, you're on the wrong channel. This is not the review for you. I would hope I see good wrestling on a wrestling show, especially a pay-per-view. No, that's not what we critique in that of itself. We are critiquing and dissecting the entire bag of chips here, folks. The booking, the performances, the mannerisms, the story, the selling, offense and defense, the finishes, what it does for the superstars going forward, how it helps the company, chemistry, character development. I can go on and on. That's what we dissect in these reviews. That's how we tally these sumbitches. So I have to see something. This is 749 times between these two. This is 2021, the year 2021. And what did we end up getting? A 13-minute match. Physical? Yes. Did they do a lot with that 13 minutes? Yes. Could Kevin Owens have possibly been injured? Yes. It doesn't make a difference for where this is going tally-wise. If you thought they were going to give them more than 15 minutes, you're giving McMahon the benefit of the doubt that he does not deserve. 13 minutes. What the fuck is 780 seconds going to do? $780 seconds. How much more can we see with Zayn and Owens? They're not getting better when they're in the ring together. They're either staying stagnant or they're actually lowering, lessening, devaluing together. I don't even need people agreeing with me. I've done my research before they even got to NXT when they wrestled hundreds of times. But in NXT, you watch what they did, you see what they do now. Why does anybody need to see this in 2021, man? It's got to stop. But McMahon always goes back to these two when he's deprived creatively, which is all the time in this company. He's got nothing for Owens. He's got nothing for Zayn. The safe bet is to just put them together. And everybody knows that they have good matches. So everyone's just going to sit there with their wooden bowl and wooden spoon like some Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more of the bullshit stew that Vince McMahon is serving up? And there'll be a long line waiting for Vincent Kennedy McMahon's bullshit stew. Not BC. I won't be a part of that line. I don't have my express pass for that line. Nope. Not gonna happen. But BC, it was physical, man. It was physical, and Owens looked like he was really hurt, man. Maybe he was. More props to him. I know he's badass. I know him and Zayn have physical matches. Do you know how I know this? Because I've watched them 748 times previously. Cares if it was physical. Okay, my grandmother pinching my cheeks when I was a kid was physical too. I still said enough, motherfucker. My third job racking pallets in a warehouse was physical too. I still said enough, bitch. I appreciate the physicality that these dudes brought. But if you think that's enough to put this into the good column, you don't know how this channel rocks its reviews. We don't give cookie-cutter tallies. There was physicality inside a wrestling ring. Well, I would fucking hope so. Reel back the parade floats, will you? There'll be no celebration here. Zayn defeats Owens via a haluva kick, and that's it. A haluva kick ends Owens. That was all we got. Pay-per-view worthy, stop, please. You're not lying to me because I would never accept the bullshit. I ask that you stop lying to yourself. This was not pay-per-view worthy. Even if Owens was injured, this still is bullshit on paper. And I believe that was the planned finish. I don't care what reports I hear. Called an audible. Bullshit. They had nothing planned for this. There was no excitement, nothing to make this pay-per-view worthy, nothing memorable. Certainly not ugly. It just wasn't. They did enough. The fact that people... And again, he could be injured. We don't know. This review, I'm spitting this to you guys immediately after the event. Because we have a lot of traveling to do. This is the only way that we can do this right now. And if he's not injured, then damn, the fact that everyone thinks he is, that's what I mean about selling. So whether he is injured or not, I think it was fucking awesome the way that that was sold. And if he was, then that's an easy way to sell it because the dude's actually in pain. And again, the physicality, and we know they put together good matches. That's not my issue with these two. It's far from ugly, not by a mile. But it's nowhere near good anymore. It's just not. Not even on Raw and SmackDown, bro. Can I be serious? I always am. I don't even gotta ask that with you. You guys know when you tune in, man, I'm always just gonna level with you. I don't even need to see this ever again on a Raw or a SmackDown. I know that's sad because these two have such rich history. And we've always said things like fight forever. And we've always said things like these two could wrestle in 2035 and we're gonna love it. But I'm just not anymore. I'm just not. We've seen the very best out of it. There's nothing left to see. And I really hope that this company can get creative and have them do something on their own, man. And not just bring them back every year because whatever they had for them fell on its face. It's not ugly. It's not good. It's bad. It just was, man. It was bad. It's bad because it wasn't good. How's that? Moving on. So future BC coming at you with some more commentary. I feel the same way. I just do, man. This is the 749th meeting between these two. Something special had to be planned, even if somebody got hurt in the match. If you're going to continue, awesome. Get to the planned finish somehow and woo and awe everybody with the fabulous booking that was supposed to be for this match. No, they eventually got to the planned finish and it was a haluva kick. And I don't think they were ever going to give them more than 15 minutes. So we have no word on if Owens was really injured. I, watching this match, was just thinking Owens was selling this motherfucker the entire time. I never for 1 second thought he was legit injured. A lot of people thought he was. So I'm not going to debunk it right now. Could have been. But I don't think this match was ever planned to go over 15 minutes. And I don't think it was supposed to end any way other than a haluva kick. If I get a report today saying the match finish was altered, or an audible was called, I better have some damn great sources and a name attached to it that was in the know, or else I'm not going to believe it. That's exactly how I believe that match was supposed to go off. If Owens actually got injured, you could say the match would have been a little better wrestling-wise, but because he was, or because he was selling it so much, we got it a little bit more physical. So either way, I have no problem with the performance that they had within that 13 minutes. My problem is, it didn't up the ante at all with these two. And if you see them so many times, if you're going to give me it again in 2021, you have to up the ante. The performance has to now be tenfold. And you have to have something that's going to literally rock your audience for a finish, because we've seen 748 other finishes between the two. I hope this, I can't, it boggles me that they put this on a pay-per-view last second. And to show you how factual I am, let's just go to the evidence. This match was made 48 hours before the event, guys. This match was made on SmackDown this past Friday, the go-home show. They literally took one of the main events off, Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio. They took that off the card 48 hours before. Oh, that was a day, so what, 72 hours, some shit. And then they added last second, or 48 hours, 2 days before the event, they added Owens and Zayn again as just a filler. And I'm supposed to accept filler on a pay-per-view, what people are paying money for. And I'm supposed to put that into the good column and reward this company. Give them their fucking cookie and gold star. Not gonna happen. You're on the wrong channel, man. You're on the wrong channel, and you're watching the wrong dude. We way more amped than that, bro. We are way more truthful than that bullshit. I assure you. That'll never be allowed. Match number 5. We're going to Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, I believe. Match number 5, man. This was Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. 14-minute match. Now here's a compliment. The match was not bad by any stretch, but I'm hard-pressed to call this good. So I went to the finish of this match to decide what column this tally should go into. As long as we got an innovative, or cool, or intriguing, or fun type of finish, then we're good, right? I mean, it's a pay-per-view. It's not so much to ask for shit to be interesting. Thus far, nothing memorable was on this pay-per-view. Bayley and Bianca is the only good part of the show. Again, thus far anyway. So we had this feeling that Charlie and Ripley had to have a thought-provoking finish. What did we end up getting? We got Ripley hitting Charlotte with the top of the commentary table and getting disqualified. No, seriously. That's what the finish was of this championship match. Ripley just used the top of the commentary table, something that we've seen used 1,000,007 times, this year alone, by the way. And Ripley was DQ'd. Charlotte wins the match. Ripley retains the title because she used the top of the commentary table. After Cesaro getting fruit rolled up earlier in the night, one of the strongest pro wrestlers of all time, and going to war for 16 minutes with Rollins, but he can't kick out. He can't get his diesel shoulder just a centimeter off the mat. After that fruit roll-up, I didn't think we'd get a worse finish. Even watching Owens and Baszler take simplistic L's, it didn't top the roll-up. But this was sheer next-level laziness. They didn't even try to make this fun. This did nothing for both of these women. And it'll surely lead to them having another match. And we'll all have to do this again. When this company is still trying to figure out now, 5+ years, how to get people to unanimously cheer for Charlotte Flair. Or unanimously just give a shit, and they still can't figure it out. And now on top of that, they have Rhea Ripley, who they tried to catapult to the forefront, and the fans just aren't buying it with her either. And now you have a feud that nobody gives a fuck about, with a finish that is absolute laziness to a nauseating level. This was not bad, my friends. Oh no. No. This was not bad. This was sheer ugliness. This goes into the ugly column. This is one of those deals where I don't just stand behind my words from last night. Future BC it feels just as strongly and passionate about that today. You cannot have these two individuals in there. When you fire somebody like Mickie James, you release Mickie James. You keep somebody like Asuka off the card. You have nothing for somebody like Ember Moon, so she has to go back to NXT. All these females that you're ruining. Even a Ruby Riott just gets released, and you can go on and on. And you have two individuals in this ring that the fans just can't connect with. Not in unison anyway. There's just, for 5+ years, they can't find a way to have a full audience connect with Charlotte somehow. And then on the flip side, they're nowhere near getting their audience connecting with Rhea Ripley. So what does Vince do? He shoves it down everybody's fucking throat. He gives everybody those two, where there's no connection with both of them, and he puts them in the ring together. They do not wow anybody at all. And in the finish, You're scratching your head. You're thinking, wait, that the top of the commentary table was a DQ? Since when? I see that 1,000 times every single match. But for this championship match, the ref was that quick? That quick to DQ the motherfuckers? Bro, be lucky that was one ugly. I can go on and on. I'm not even going to. Let's just hit the main event. Take it away, past BC. That match number 6 spot was indeed the main event for the WWE title. Inside of that cell structure, McIntyre versus champion Lashley. This was a 26-minute title match. Oh, there's something special when you get two heavyweights going for a title and they give them more than 25 minutes. Something special about that, isn't it? Because with this company, you gotta beg, plead, bitch, complain, rant to get anything over 20 minutes. This just felt like a heavyweight title match throughout, too. And it was fun. There's a crazy concept. A bit of fun in your wrestling match. A bit of overbooking for sure. That just shows that you care, right? We had referees being taken out, MVP getting involved, wild table spots, claymores and spears to no avail, physicality amplified, and then it happened. After a 26-minute war, Lashley defeated McIntyre with an awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating, fruit fucking roll-up. A fruit roll-up ended a Hell in a Cell match. I can't help but feel like this was McMahon trolling everybody for thinking that Rollins and Bray Wyatt was so tragic. How about we end a Hell in a Cell match with a fruit roll-up? You guys realize how ridiculously stupid this is? Not only did your Hell in a Cell main event title match end with a roll-up, but it happened after we just saw a roll-up finish an hour earlier with Rollins and Cesaro. This company doesn't even try to hide their stupidity. The whole point of the roll-up is that it happens once in a blue moon. And because of that, it catches you off guard and by surprise. Old school Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat type shit. But it's multiple times a show now. It's not just multiple times a month. It's multiple times a show these days. It's not realistic. It's just not realistic. That you can have a war for 26 minutes. You can kick out of spears. You can kick out of claymores. Devastating power bombs and pile drivers and DDTs. And go through 3, 4, 5 tables. But you cannot get your shoulder a centimeter off the mat. Just an inch, bro. Dudes like Cesaro. Dudes like Drew McIntyre. And you go on message boards and things of that nature and you see, it was a good match, man. What a phenomenal match. What a match they had, man. So you're just going to let the finish slide because you saw a good wrestling match? First of all, yes, I praised the fuck out of this match. Already, in the first several minutes of this match review, I praised the shit out of this entire thing. Did it still constitute a cell structure? No, you'd be fooling yourself if you thought this constitutes as a cell structure match. No. But I'm willing to even bypass that because after what we've seen with the main event, the original planned main event, Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns being pulled off the card just to try to pop a SmackDown rating, which they never did. They barely hit 2 million, if even. I don't even think they hit 2 million, actually. So right from the jump, the entire pay-per-view has been devalued. And the prestige level has been lowered. That bar has been set pretty damn low now. And now we're seeing matches just get thrown into a cell structure. No, I'm willing to bypass that because that's already laughable to a tragic degree. But when I see a fruit roll-up inside of the cell match, when I know that these dudes went to war in what is supposed to be called Hell in a Cell, and hell ended with a roll-up, and you think I'm putting this into the good column? Have you done drop and fallen on your don't piece a couple 2-3 times too many as a kid? What the flying fuck are you possibly thinking? I would be doing this review, this channel, myself and all of you a dishonor and injustice if I put this anywhere other than the ugly column. And you want to talk generous? Do you want to know the full throttle amplified truth? I literally, from my notes, when this thing first ended, I had 3 uglies because I was so baffled. The thought that they would end a cell match with a roll-up, the audacity to make Drew McIntyre look like such a fucking schmuck. To end the pay-per-view, there was nothing even special. You could say you want Brock Lesnar back or not. But you wouldn't even have to worry. Nothing special happened at the end of this pay-per-view. This whole pay-per-view, an event you have to pay money for. An event that is supposed to give you memorable moments. Epic contests with fun. Intriguing finishes. It ended. The entire event ended with the second roll-up of the night. Inside of the cell. I cannot stress this enough. And there'll be somebody going, wow, that's really harsh, basically. They went to war, man. And you end it like that? I'm supposed to put this into the bad column and spare it in ugly because they went to war for 26 minutes? So if you cooked somebody a magnificent steak, you spent an hour and a half on this son of a bitch. You seasoned it to a T. You gave the finest meat. You cooked it the best way possible. And then you pissed in it. And you gave it a loogie for an added touch. And you served it. Do you call that a good steak? I mean, you cooked it perfectly. You gave it the right seasons. You gave it TLC. But at the very end, you pissed on it and you spit in it. So it's not a good steak. It's a horrible experience. You're never eating there again. They pissed on your steak. Fuck the hour and a half of the TLC. The hour and a half that was fucking brought into making this steak immaculate. The bottom line is, before it was served, it was pissed on and spit on. Vince McMahon pissed on this event and spit on all of you. A roll-up? Not acceptable. And if you think that's harsh, I have great news. I really do. There's a million review shows and a million pro wrestling channels on this very platform. You ain't even got to jump into podcast. On the tube alone, you might find a channel or 1,000 that'll give you the cookie cutter rainbow chocolate chip soft batch cookie cutter shit that you're looking for. This is not that. I want to talk about the positives, absolutely. I love talking about the good. Go back to the very first match of this very pay-per-view. I love talking about character development and all the good shit that happened during the matches and in the feuds and what it all leads to. This event sucked. When you sum it up, what magical moments are you going to remember for a lifetime or even 10 years from now? Oh, no, nothing, right? Oh, BC's making sense now. Well, let me up the ante. What about 5 years from now? Next year, what are you gonna remember from this pay-per-view? Don't lie to yourself. You ain't gonna remember jack shit. Till this very day, I remember pay-per-views from WWE in the past because they brought their A game and everything was fun, or at least most shit. Interesting finishes. Epic confrontations that led to something even after the match for the future for us to be intrigued with. Stipulations and match gimmicks that had care put into it. Now, this is what we've come to. A Hell in a Cell match where nothing happened that needed to be inside of a cell structure, A, and B, ended with the most wussificational move in pro wrestling. That's right. Put that word into the wrestling dictionary. Wussificational. McIntyre lost inside of a cell structure. This was supposed to be hell, and hell happens to be a fruit roll-up. That's a fucking ugly. Let's bring this to future BC, and let's tally this shit up. Alright, so here's the deal, man. Before we tally all this up, mad props to Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. That's first and foremost, man. It's a shame that it has to go column-wise where this tally went, but that takes nothing away from Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre posting up some pics that came across my attention of him and how brutal this match was, and that's awesome. I thank them for the physicality. I thank them for putting their bods on the line. I thank them for entertaining the best way they possibly can with the bullshit that Vincent Kennedy McMahon gives them. So I want to get that out of the way. Not just Drew and Bobby, everybody on this card, everybody always. For those that give 110% for our entertainment and try their best and try to turn Vince McMahon's shit into gold, to them I say thank you. But again, this is not an honest review show if I don't be 100% truthful with you. Then it's the opposite. And this is just another cookie cutter program on a cookie cutter channel, and the Amplify channel will just never be that. Can you get more views and more clicks and more praise if you're positive on this platform? Of course. Can you catch the eye of Vince McMahon's cronies? In other promotions, absolutely. But that's not what I want to be for you guys, man. I want to be that person that you know is feeling the exact same fucking way about what we are watching every Monday night. Friday's a little bit better, but Monday's for sure. How lethargic, how bored you are, how nauseating you are from what you are watching, the redundancy, the rematches, the laziness. That you know that there is somebody in this community that feels the same fucking way, and they will voice out. They don't care if they don't get employment by a big company one day. They're gonna be honest, man, and that's what this has to be. So just because they went to this war, I cannot in good conscience put that into the good column, knowing that they ended hell in a cell. What is it, Vince? What is it? Give it to me. Damn it, BC. It's hell in a cell. Simmer down, Vince. You're gonna blow out another mic. Hell in a Cell. Do you guys remember when it used to be Hell in a Cell? I remember fucking a guy literally from hell named Kane ripping the door off and entering the cell and just moments like that. And now we ended the entire event. We ended the main event Hell in a Cell match with a fruit roll-up, and we went off the air with McIntyre looking depressed. Well, he should. This 6-foot some-odd dude, nearly 300 pounds of muscle, most likely. Haven't checked his fucking stats. I'm guessing he's fucking nearly 300 pounds, and you know that's fucking muscle. This dude couldn't kick out a shoulder. So he looks embarrassed and he looks depressed as we go off the air. I would think so. I would absolutely think so, that after you went to war, you kicked out of everything that Lashley had to offer, and you just couldn't. Just an inch. Your massive fucking delt. Just an inch. It's not realistic. It is not realistic. If you had a 7-foot dude and maybe Hornswoggle, I can believe it. Or once in a blue moon, if you do a roll-up, BC can be on board because it doesn't happen often and you literally caught somebody off guard. When you do it multiple times a show, you're no longer catching dudes off guard. They have to know that that's the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. The fruit roll-up. And it's not acceptable anymore. It's unacceptable. You had 6 matches last night. You realize a third of it, 2 out of the 6 ended in a fruit roll-up. They had their main event end the same way that match number 2 ended. How is that fun? How is that intriguing? Basically, he was caught off guard, man. It was a shock finish. Were you shocked about that? Did anything about that event, the whole 3 hours, did it shock you? What's your memorable moments? What are you going to remember 10 years from now? 5 years from now? How about 1 year? How about tomorrow? What are you going to remember on this show? What are you truly going to go back and watch? Let's end this fucking review with the final tally. What do you say? I believe we had 4 uglies. 1 bad and 1 good. Cross out all of those uglies. 4 uglies now turns into 8 bads. 2, 4, 6, 8. Added on top of the original bad that Owens and Zayn received, and you have 9 bads to 1 good. This was an overwhelmingly harshest review that BC has probably ever done on this channel. Hell in a Cell was exactly what we thought it was going to be on paper. For 3 hours, we tuned in to be entertained, and I don't know how anybody, factually, if they're being honest with themselves, looking at themselves in the mirror, would say, "Self, damn was I just entertained for that 3 hours. What a pay-per-view. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Oh, the memories. Oh, the moments. The shock finishes. The debuts. The surprises. Remember pay-per-views used to have all of this because it was a pay-per-view? I was gonna say now they're just glorified Raws and SmackDowns, but what I witnessed last night, I wouldn't even pay money for a house show. I get more entertained at the local bingo hall watching Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer and Fuckwad Fred take on Bobcat Benson and Peacock Paulie. Special guest referee, my local pizza delivery guy, Luigi Lugnuts. Special enforcer, Honkin' Holly. That entertained me way more than what the fuck I'm seeing on WWE Hell in a Cell last night. Yeah, I stand by past BC's comments, and future BC just doubles down and then some. 9-1. A bad pay-per-view for the ages. This company needs to step up. A pay-per-view needs to feel like a pay-per-view from here on out. You ain't gotta agree with BC if you don't want to. Go find another channel. Hit the bricks! But for those that know exactly where BC is coming from, maybe you feel the exact same way. Salute to you, man. We'll keep voicing out and voicing loudly. I'm BC Amplified. You have just witnessed the Amplified review. The good, the bad, and the ugly of Hell in a Cell. Raw coming up. The post-Hell in a Cell edition. We'll review that. Plenty of impromptu videos coming during the week. Always stay subbed and notified. And until next time, think, be, live, amplified. Check you later.